the whole sequence of events is a little bit puzzling because it was the bird strike. Of course, the pilot was warned by air traffic controller, and then 1 minute later, it was the bird strike, and one of the engine. There are some videos of that. However, then after that, the sequence of events is very, very puzzling to me. According to one of your colleagues, Mr. Jeff Thomas, who is a leading aviation reporter and writer in Australia. It may have been the plane may have faced some sort of a multiple system failure because right after it declared Mayday, it stopped transmitting the automatic dependent surveillance broadcast, which is called ADSB. This is the transmission that the plane has with the air traffic controllers and others. And then also when it came for landing, of course, you saw that the landing gear was not deployed also, and the flaps were not set fully to its correct position. That indicates maybe there was a multiple electrical failure after it was initiated by that bird strike, which to me is a little bit puzzling. That's why we need really to wait until the cockpit voice recorder and data cockpit and flight data recorder be retrieved and read.
Professor Meshkati, when you talk about that emergency system, did you mention there that it stopped transmitting at that point as well?
It is not an emergency system. The system is called ADSB, which is basically like a continuous transmitting information based on the GPS and ground positioning satellite and some other information to air traffic controllers and that. According to Mr. Thomas, who is a very reliable colleague when it comes to aviation data, Jeff Thomas told me that right after the Mayday, the ADSB system stopped transmitting information, which it's supposed to make that information automatically. And then when you look at the landing gears, which were not deployed during the landing, and I'm also puzzled why the pilot and the first officer didn't deploy the landing gear manually, because they have that option also. Could have been a multiple system failure, they were overwhelmed, overloaded, and that I don't know. But that ADSB system not transmitting information right after the Mayday declaration, which was something like 9 minutes before the crash, that is very puzzling to me.
And when you say it's puzzling there with those multiple components, would the information that is held in the black box illuminate exactly what happened and the context around each of those particular systems and what was going on?
That's an excellent question. The cockpit voice recorder, of course, records some, I don't know, 45 minutes or 1 hour of the, or maybe more in some cases, of the cockpit conversation between the captain, first officer, and air traffic controller, and also the flight attendant. That is the cockpit voice recorder. If there was a sound of the bird strike in one of the engine or the second engine, that could be captured over the cockpit data recorder or flight data recorder, sorry. That is a very critical piece of information because it captures all the critical functions with respect to the engine, hydraulic system, landing gears, and others. That tells us basically what could have been precipitated after the bird strike. But the bird strike was with one engine, as far as I have seen on the videos and the reports. Why the second engine failed to power the electrical system, and that was another piece of puzzle for me.
And Professor, just finally, based on the vision, the images, the harrowing images that we're seeing right now and the extent of the damage, would you expect that those key pieces of technology, that infrastructure that holds that detail, would be intact?
Yes, because typically these flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorders, as far as I remember, they are in the tail of the airplane. And the two passengers that who survived, or two flight attendants that survived, they were sitting at the very last rows in the tail of the airplane. And I would suspect those, and I expect those two so-called black boxes to be able to be retrieved intact, and we can use their data.